to dignify you. Allah dignified you with this word. You were humiliating yourself in guidance. You were following the ways of rejected devils. You were following down a dark path. You were a disappointment to your own humanity, your own soul. And I want you to restore your dignity again. And that's this recital that will dignify you. It is full of nobility, and it will actually give you nobility, grant you nobility. And then he says, but this thing that you're reciting right now, I recited it in the beginning. Recitation doesn't happen in the skies. Recitation happens here on the earth. So he adds, fi kitabim maknoon. This recitation that you enjoy here, its origin is in a book well guarded. Akinna in Arabic is actually, in Old Arabic, was used for an eagle's nest. And an egg that's held in the eagle's, because it's impossible to access. He says a book a document that is covered and inaccessible by anybody. Where is it? لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. None touch that original manuscript of the Quran that except the most purified even of the angels. Like there's a vault, security on top of security, and the most highly classified of the angels get access to that revelation because they will be charged with delivering it along with Jibreel alayhi salam. They get to even touch it. And so it's all the way up there, we're all the way down here. Listen to the next words. تَنْزِيلٌ مِّن رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. A descending, a coming down, emanating from the master of all peoples and all nations. This was not only something that took over all of the skies. It's something that is supposed to bring light to all of the world. All of its people. Just like the stars and their beauty is not just something the Arab appreciates. Who appreciates it? Every human being. Just like the night of the darkness of night is scary for every human being. Just like navigation is necessary for every human being. This Quran came to bring light to every nation. From a gift from Allah Himself coming down, descending down. And so now, as I wrap up these two questions, أَفَبِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَنْتُمْ مُدْهِنُونَ? Is it about this speech, this new thing that has never been said before? This Quran, he calls it speech, a talk, a conversation. Hadith can also mean conversation. One of the names of the Quran is actually conversation. I know when you hear the word hadith, you're like, are you talking about Bukhari or Muslim? Hadith, yes, in our terminology, hadith became the conversations of the Prophet ﷺ. But in its original meaning, it's actually haddathtuhu, I conversed with him. Hadith is a new conversation that hasn't been had before. So when he says, أَفَبِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ, this new conversation that is descended from God Himself, is this the one you're going to take loosely? Is this the one that you're so carefree about when you deal with it? That's one of the meanings of idham. Duhun actually means oil, slippery. Something that you can't hold on to tightly because it slips. The other meaning of idhan actually is to negotiate. Are you going to negotiate with this book? Oh, I like some parts, I don't like other parts. I'm comfortable with this part, I'm not so comfortable with that part. Is that what you're going to do with this word, this conversation? Do you realize who that conversation is with? Where it came from? By the way, how honored you are to even have access to it? Think about that. The Quran is in the highest of heavens, Kitabun Maknoon. The skies are locked down when it travels, and yet you have access to it. Is it not a huge honor for somebody to have access to something that is guarded? For example, sometimes in the Muslim world, for example, some dignitaries, scholars, VIPs, whatever, get access to go inside the Kaaba. You get access to something so rare, so otherwise inaccessible, You have direct access to something that has been the greatest treasure ever sent down on the earth. And you're going to take that loosely? You want to negotiate with that? Mudhinun also, some have interpreted correctly from the language, it actually makes sense. Mudhinun also means, are you going to show reverence to it from the outside but not really on your inside? When someone shows one face on the outside and something else on the inside, that's also called duhun. It's a kind of ghish, it's a kind of cheating, deception. Are you going to cheat yourselves? Are you going to be truly dishonest with yourselves when it comes to this speech? Do you realize what this is? And so that conversation that I wanted to have with you concludes with this ayah. وَتَجْعَلُونَ رِزْقَكُمْ أَنَّكُمْ تُكَذِّبُونَ. And are you going to furnish provision for your own selves? Furnish what for yourselves? Provision. Do you remember where I started? What does Allah give us? Crop, rain, fire. Without those things, we would have no what? Provision. And He said, none of that comes from you, it comes from me. I give you that provision. And now Allah is saying, are you going to make your own ways to find provision? But the conversation wasn't about crop or rain or fire. The conversation now was about the word of Allah. And now Allah is teaching us that the word of Allah itself is what? Provision. Look at the word of Allah elsewhere. استجيبوا لله وللرسول إذا دعاكم لما يحييكم. Respond to Allah and His Messenger when they invite you, when He invites you to what will give you life. Food gives you life, drink gives you life, heat gives you life, shelter gives you life. Allah says the word of Allah gives you life. If you don't have this, you have food, you have shelter, you have drink, but you're dead. You're dead. Like Surah Yasin will say, لِيُنذِرَ مَنْ كَانَ حَيًّا, to warn the one who's actually still alive. As if there are some people who are walking around, eating food, driving around, but they're dead. There's something inside them that was supposed to live, but it died. Allah says, are you going to find this provision elsewhere? Are you going to make up your own? You think you're going to fill that hole inside you with something else? Other than this word? أَنَّكُمْ تُكَذِّبُونَ. And تُكَذِّبُونَ here, I would interpret here, not only are you considering this revelation a lie, you're lying to yourselves. You're cheating yourselves. You call it a lie as an act of really your own ghish, your own idham. Don't kid yourselves. There is no replacement for this book. I find this one of the most incredible, beautiful descriptions of the Quran. And even though I wasn't going to talk to you about the next ayah, I do want to share one thing with you. The next ayah basically says, no, when it reaches the throat. كَلَّا إِذَا بَلَغَتِ الْحُلْقُومِ. What in the world reaches the throat? Your soul. The word of Allah came down, and your soul is going to go up. If you were able to sustain your soul with the word of Allah, then it will go up, happy. You see? So He's mentioning the soul for a reason. You have to be ready. You want it to go up in the right way. Don't violate it. I've given you the sustenance so that when it reaches, that your life will continue even though your physical body will die. You don't want to be of those who in the afterlife, ثُمَّ لَا يَمُوتُ فِيهَا وَلَا يَحْيَا. He doesn't live, he doesn't die. That you can't describe hell as life, and you can't describe it as death. That's what the Quran itself says. So I wanted to remind myself and you of just the value this book has, the awe we're supposed to have, the beauty that we're supposed to find in it, the sustenance we're supposed to find in it. It's the place I go to when I'm depressed, when things around me are dark, when I don't know where else to turn, where I feel lost, where I feel like nobody else can help me, I got nowhere else to go. That's when this book comes. When you feel like you're not safe, nobody can protect you, that's when this book comes and plays a role. When you feel like nothing can sustain you and provide for you and take care of your needs, that's when this book plays a role. This is not just a book to recite every once in a while or read every once in a while as a casual thing. This descended from the heavens, shows some appreciation. Take it a little more seriously. Don't become of those who do idhan with it. Don't take it loosely. That's the message of Allah in Surah Al-Waqi'ah. And this message was to disbelievers. I'm not talking to disbelievers. I'm talking to us. Because these words, even though the original audience was those who didn't believe, now we need these words as much as they did. Maybe even more. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us truly, truly love and find constant beauty in the word of Allah. May Allah help us navigate all the challenges in our life through the remarkable ayat of the Quran. I pray that Allah makes the journey into the Quran easy for every one of you in your personal lives and makes you someone not only who loves Allah's book, but because of you, other people are inspired to love Allah's book as well. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quran al-Hakim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayat wa dhikr al-Hakim. Thank you so very much for this opportunity. I personally want to thank the Frisco community, I'm definitely going to come back, inshallah. Inshallah ta'ala. I would love to come back. And I do feel very honored at the hospitality that's been shown to me here. Your questions, your conversations have been absolutely fascinating. And I hope to see you guys soon. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I just want to take a few more minutes of your time, if you can just bear with me.